Hello everyone, my name is Ion Jakova, I'm the CTO of Subnet Albania, and this is Michael Tutsi, the CTO of Wecom. Wecom is another company under the Subnet umbrella which specializes in security software.
Yes.
For the workshop today we'll go with protection in the box, Go OSS. And we'll demonstrate to you how to set up a secure and open source environment which you can reach from anywhere, even your phone, which we will demonstrate later on.
Yes.
For that, though, there is one requirement, and that is that you have to go with one Unix-based operating system. Why did we choose to go with an Unix-based operating system, or more specifically, we choose to go with Debian, which is a Linux distribution. And for that reason, there are a few conundrums. First of all, it's because since the code is open source, there are always scrutinizing eyes looking at the code all the time, checking for wrongdoings, and so on and so forth. And this makes it secure by default. The second point, and to continue from the first point, is that since there are more eyes on the code, it's far easier for bugs to get caught. And lastly, but surely not least, is, as you can read, it's free and who doesn't like this stuff, right? For this presentation, we actually choose to go with VirtualBox to facilitate the presentation itself, since it's easier with the monitoring and stuff. And we already installed running distribution of Debian with everything ready, the GUI and disk partition, and so on and so forth. But there is one thing that it is important to take in consideration when going with this kind of setup, and that is the network configuration, or rather, two things, but we'll start with network configuration. The thing is that since FOSS system, free and open source system, usually do not include proprietary software, and network drivers are usually proprietary. So depending on the distribution you choose to go with, you might have to work a bit harder on the network configuration. And after that is the user setup. Since we used to go with Linux distribution, Debian, as I said before, there is always a user called root. But aside from that, you have to create a user to use as your daily driver. And for that, we will show you right now how to set up a new user for easier access and add it to a few groups. For those who are not aware, groups in Linux are quite similar to users, and you have to. I'm sorry, Michael?
We will be showing the presentation.
Right.
It's a PowerPoint presentation.
It's okay, it's okay. Yeah. Okay, perfect. You can say. Oops.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, first of all, before, we will go with the creation of a new user. As I told before, there is always one user which is called root. And root is more akin to the administration user which you can find in a system like Windows, for those who are aware. So you create a new user with the command user add, and that will add this option, which will create a home directory for that user, and let's call this user Duwave. After this, we will set a password for this user. Right. Perfect. Let's go with Duwave as well. Perfect. We create this new user. And now we can log in to this new user. Duwave. Perfect. Let's clean up the screen a little bit so you can see better. And as I told you before, we were going with Debian, since Debian is one of the oldest Linux distribution, one of the most open source, if that's a thing, and mostly because I personally like it. So yeah, another configuration, which is very important, is to change the shell. So we will change the shell here. Oops, forgot about something. Since I mentioned it in the presentation but didn't add it here, we have to add this user to some groups which I mentioned before. So let's do that. And you do that with the command user mod. And the option add group. For simplicity's sake, I'll go simply with sudo, which will enable you to which will enable you to run higher level command. Perfect. Now let's go on to the presentation. Looks like I don't know how to write today. No, this is test user. Perfect, we are Duwave, and then we will change the shell just for simplicity's sake, so we don't have to write everything manually. We change shell, symlink, and this is require user. Perfect. I can't see it. Then bash. And I need to log out before that. It's kind of hard to see. Did I add it to sudo, Michael? Will you remind me?
Yeah.
Sudo
Duwave. Sudo Duwave. User mod.
Well, I really wouldn't want to restart the virtual machine just to lose everyone time, so I'll go with the user I created this morning. And Michael can continue from there. But yeah, after you create the user, after you add it to sudo and set the right terminal, we then can go on to the setup of the security part. And for the security part, we have an expert on the matter, and the expert on the matter is right here, Michael Tutsi. He will go on to show you how to set up the OpenVPN, which is one of the most used open source systems in the VPN atmosphere. So yeah, Michael, please.
Okay,
Continue.
so
Before that, let me just move the slide
mhm.
on your part. Michael, you know how to do this.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so good morning to everyone, and first of all, let me thank you to be here today with us for this workshop. As Jan told before, I'm Michael Tuzzi, and today I want to show you how to protect, or better, try to protect our home private network. I don't know if you already know how is VPN, or how that VPN works, or OpenVPN. Just a simple POYO question, okay? This is my little trick for everyone of you knows VPN or OpenVPN. Yes, okay? No? Perfect. This is the first time? Okay, wow. I'm excited.
VPN stands for Virtual Private Network, for those who don't know.
Okay,
Virtual
perfect,
Private
perfect.
Network.
Okay, now I'm more excited than before. So, first of all, we need to start with basics. I know that it's maybe will be a little bit boring, but we must know how we have to do, because we have to configure a bunch of things. But every these steps, in each of these steps, we need to know how we are doing. Okay, just a little bit of basics. I repeat myself, just to understand what we are doing. First of all, we need to know how is Internet Protocol, aka IP. Every one of us, I suppose that we know the IP. What is an IP? It's simply an address, okay? Nothing more than address. It's composed by numbers, in this way, for us as human, but our computer, our PCs, translate this number in a decimal base with 10 digits in binary code, okay? It's simple. So we have 4 of this number, and this number detect and reach every single devices, mobile or PCs, or every kind of device in the network, okay? Each of these devices have an IP, a single one, okay? In fact, I don't know if you have already tried to, for example, assign the same IP to 2 different PCs. There's a conflict, okay? We'll have a conflict because, for example, these devices are called hosts, and if I'm a host, okay, for example, my IP will be my home address, for example, okay? So I live there and no one other, okay? Because if someone other live there where I live, we'll have a conflict. Okay, so the IP is unique, absolutely unique. After that, we have to say that the IP will be dynamic. That means changes every 10 seconds, 24 hours. It depends of the ISP logic. Okay, or static. Static means static. So don't change, okay? I have an IP, this is one for all, okay? For for the entire life of my PC, okay? When I turn off and switch off and switch on my PC or my router, the IP will be the same, for example. We can choose if we want a static or dynamic IP when we sign the contract with our ISP, Internet Service Provider. Okay? But the dynamic IP is more expensive, okay? Because our ISP must reserve that IP for our router or connection, okay? It's more expensive. So, after that, how I can remember all these numbers, okay? Okay, we are human, maybe some one of us can remember more than one of that IPs, but not the entire IPs that we have on internet. So the DNS, domain name system, aka DNS, it's something like address book, okay? So I don't need to remember the IP, for example, the Google server, because I have to write simply Google on the URL input bar, and the magic begins, because the DNS, our DNS, we have more than one DNS. I'm trying to make it simple, but DNS see the IP, search the internal routing table and blah blah blah, internet stuffs, and tell me, okay, you want to go to Google, perfect. Google have this IP, okay? This is the DNS. So how we can reach our machine if we have a dynamic IP? Because, for example, I can stay here in Durrës, for example, and tomorrow in Tirana, and the day after tomorrow, I don't know, okay? How I can reach myself or someone reach my IP? It's simple. This is very simple because we have another kind of system that is called dynamic DNS. That dynamic DNS provides for us, in some ways, the auto-detection of our IP. For example, in this situation and for my home private network, I choose this one that is no IP because it's free, okay? we don't want to pay someone, and if you want to pay something, for example, we have the NordVPN, maybe some banner or something like that.
Advertisement.
Yes, advertisement sometimes shows pop-ups on our internet pages, but I choose this one, this no IP, because it's free. We can set up to 3 DNS name, that is a record aliases in that situation. That means I can reach my IP through a label, through a string that it's more simple. For example, in this case, and it's real case because after this little bit stuff of basics, we will see directly here, and after that on my mobile phone. I can reach my IP with, for example, michaeltuzzi.ddns.net, and with that simple string that I can remember, and I don't have a good mind, okay, to remember things, but it's simple for me. With that string, I can reach my IP, okay? After that, it's really fast because it's simple. I have to log in, so I create an account, I created an account, and that system auto-detect directly my external IP, okay? What is the cost? Okay, it's free, blah, blah, blah. And the cost? Where's the trouble? The trouble is that we must refresh our account or our IP, our external public IP, every month. But okay, I have to take less than 1 minute because we can go on the page, log in, okay, this is my new IP, perfect, and everything is done, okay? After that, the last thing we need to know is network address translation, aka NAT, okay? What is this? It's a literally translation. So it's a translation among parts, okay? Because if I want to go, okay, I have to admit, I'm that guy that likes the old stuffs, okay? So we can see Yahoo. I don't know if one of you knows what Yahoo is. Okay, maybe this is the first time that you see this link, this page. If I want to go, for example, on Google, okay, I ask to my router here, and everyone have a router in our own, okay? I ask, okay, I want to go to yahoo.com, perfect, or google.com. Okay, the router try to search and find the DNS, because trying to DNS table to search on DNS table. Google, I already have this page, this link, this situation, this address. If no, okay, the first time is the first time that router see a Google page, for example. try to reach the external page of Google with a port. Okay, we always have a port. We have an IP and a port. For example, okay, I live there, but where? If I enter in a building, I have to know the roof, the floor, and the door. I have to knock something, okay, some door. The door is a port, okay? I have to know what is the port, where I want to go, just to reach our service, or the service that I want. In this case, for example, the port is 3855, and my router translates this port from the internal IP to the external one. This is, for example, the public IP that I have in my house, for example, okay? Through this port. And with this situation, we can reach the Yahoo server, for example, or Google server, and Google server responds to our router, and our router knows that we want to see that page and retranslate that situation from the 6282 to 3855 and send back to our PC. Okay? It's not quite simple, but this is the situation about NAT. NAT is network address translation, and it's very useful to reach services among the internet. Okay? Because you have to know that we have a limited number of ports, and with that ports must be translated just to become more than 65535. Okay, we don't have so many ports. Okay, we have a small pool of ports, and we must translate it. This is why we must use this situation. Okay, we don't have to use this situation here because the router do it for us. Okay. After that, we know the basics, and we can go on the machine and set our private network. How we can do this? After the basics starts to dirty our hands. I don't know if this is used for you, but we need to configure this situation, the DNS, okay, that we see before, on our router. Okay, we don't do this in your university, in this university, because I must change the configuration directly on the router, and
yeah,
I can do that.
Permission.
I can do that, but I did this on my router. Okay, so we will see later how this works directly. We have to set the dynamic DNS, the system that we've seen before, and this is the page of my router, my personal router, just to enable the dynamic DNS setup, just to detect the private situation, how I can say, the external, okay, better. I must link the no IP system, the system that we've seen before, with my router, okay, inside my router. This is the page that do this work, okay? And we have to set the URL to update. This URL is invoked every time we want to refresh our IP. For example, here we have the time, for the last update time. This is where I prepared this slide. And after that, okay, this is a fake IP. And this page detected automatically, my router detected automatically the IP, the public IP that he has, okay? We must set username and password, that is the account of our system, our dynamic system. In my case, it's no IP, so this is my account, for example. I created this account just for this workshop. And if this is accepted, everything goes fine and works. I spent a lot of time to reach this situation because this link was hard to find. Okay, I spent, if I remember well, 6 or 8 hours to find this little link here inside the little string of a post inside the old forum. So it was not fine to. It was not easy to find. Yes. After that, we must set the NAT, okay? Because we must translate the external communication through the internal. In this case, we have this port forwarding part or configuration in each router, okay? Every router has this configuration here, and we need to set okay, the name status it's on because this is a rule and we can turn on and turn off rules just like firewalls, okay? Name, okay, one interface because we can say that this rule is only for example, the Wi-Fi network or only for the cable network, LAN, okay, local area network interface, because you have to know that router have more than one configuration. We have cables and we have Wi-Fi. We can set, if you want to translate our ports and IPs only for one or every configuration for our router. This is the IP where the request want to go. For example, in this case, okay, it's a fake IP, but will be our VPN server, okay, our internal server, our VPN, and this is the start and end port translation. That it means the internal ports and the external ports. These ports will be used for connect to our VPN, and this port will be used to our VPN to engage the connection, okay? What is a VPN? We talked a little bit more than these stuffs, but VPN, Virtual Private Network, okay? It's simply a tunnel, okay? That goes on our communications and encrypt every data inside this communication, okay? This is why we always listen, okay, if you have a VPN, you can reach by government or hackers or something like that. Because we need to create a key and cipher our communication. This is why. For example, to create a VPN for us, we must create a key. Every 3 letters I divided by 2 and, for example, multiply by 7, okay? And this is how we will communicate. We will start to communicate. Who knows the key can understand. Who didn't know the key can't understand. This is why VPN is secure, okay? I don't know if this is fine.
Yeah, it's like a secret password between the two entities.
Okay? It's a tunnel, a cipher tunnel. This is why it's secure. Okay, after that, we can go on the machine.
Yes, I can help you, Michael.
Okay. Because we must create this key, okay? This sort of cipher just to create this tunnel.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I choose an automatic script to create everything for me and for you. Okay. This is you can find this script on GitHub.
Yes, the script is this one over here. We already downloaded it. I can show you, but actually the script is written by a professional just for this kind of stuff, so we won't go over that. Michael can continue with the installation part. I'm not sure. Why can't you see down here?
Okay.
Every few commands just clean so
Mhm.
that the
Okay.
student can see.
Okay.
You will have to run that sudo. And I created the password admin for this.
Okay, perfect. So, as I said, this is an automatic script and help us to create our VPN server directly and our key, okay, to create our tunnel. This is the IP of our machine, okay. This is a virtual machine, okay, but maybe in your own you will see the classic class C address 192.168.1. something, okay? And okay, we can say yes, for example. Okay. He detects that maybe we are under a net, and in fact we have a net because we are inside a university network, okay? And we need to set the address that we want to reach for this net situation. In this case, for example, okay, I leave this IP here, okay, but in our case, we must set that little string that I can remember well. For example, michaeltuzzi.ddns.net, that is provided by no IP service, no IP system, okay? We must type here something like that. Okay, something like that. Because with this string, we can reach our network, or better, our router, okay? Because with this one, we can talk directly with our router. Okay? IPv6, okay, I don't know if you know, we have two classes of IP, two kinds of IP. IPv4, that is one I showed you before, with decimal digits, and IPv6, that is use hexadecimal digits, okay, digits and strings, and it's more complex, and it was created just because we have tons of devices in our network, okay, and in the future that numbers expires, okay, we will not have more numbers, and we start to use alphabetic digit too, okay. So in this case we can set no, we can go on.
It's let's see if we can do it like this, since the student can't see it otherwise. Isn't this going too small?
It's bigger inside.
I can't. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
Here we go.
See, now we must choose the port because, as I said, we have the IP and we have a port. Always for everything. If you don't write any kind of port, not here, but for example in your Google search or in your URL search, you are using the port 18 for standard communication without SSL layer, so without any kind of security, or the port 443. That means that you are using a certificate for your communication. If you see well, when you type Google on your URL, you are redirected to HTTPS. That S means security, SSL security socket layer, and you are using a certificate, a good one, because otherwise you will receive the really big screen. This communication is not secure, this site is not secure, and you have to manually go on that site, okay? So we must use this port. Can choose one of our ports, okay? We can, that is the default port for VPN connection, 1194. We can choose another one for custom that I done with my internal VPN server. I choose another port or a random one. See, as I said before, this is the maximum number of ports that we have. And it's okay, it's big, but not so big for internet, okay? As we know, internet is everywhere, okay? And we must translate this port from the external to the internal. This means that we can use more than these ports. For this configuration, we can go on. Okay. We have to choose our, I can say, protocol that we want to use. UDP or TCP, just to make it simple. This is less secure than this one, just because with this one you don't mind if you lost packets or a message, okay? Have you ever played to any kind of mobile games or shooting games? Okay, sometimes happens.
The packet lost. The packet lost.
Yes, the packet lost. So, for example, little bit lag, for example, a lag, okay? That is why, because you are using this kind of protocol, UDP, that is not secure for your communication. That it means maybe I can talk, but a letter or a word never reach you. And you don't mind because you can recreate your communication or the situation in your mind.
Yeah, for those who are not aware, UDP is usually used for video calling and such. So even if you lose a bit of packages, so you can't see the image very well, you don't really care since the connection is still there. Whereas TCP, it's slower, but you can be sure that the package will reach the other side, and vice versa.
This means this is faster than this one, but less secure for your communication. Okay? In this situation, we can use the UDP. Never mind, because we will use this, or better, I use this situation for in my house just to connect to my PC and see something on my devices. I don't mind if I lost packages because, okay, I can reconnect or I can wait because I don't mind actually, okay? Okay, now we have to choose the DNS resolvers, DNS, so the address book, and okay, I like Google because it's free. Every one of these are free, also, of course. Okay. Compression, no, because compression means that we must use more effort to create our communication, okay, but it's more secure. And the encryption, okay, we arrived. The encryption. So now we are creating our key, our protocol, our mindset to communicate among our devices, okay? We don't want to use other encryption settings. We will use the default one, and you have to know actually that the default one is really tough to attack, okay, to decrypt, okay, it's quite secure to use the default one, okay, and that's all. We are on, okay, we can go on, see, it's automatic, okay. You have to think that all these things are, you can create all these things manually, but we don't have so much time. Okay, I have to choose the client name. What is this? This is, who are you? I'm Michael, when I'm not outside the door, okay? I must introduce myself, okay? So, for example, okay, the wave in this situation. I can choose if I want a password, a passphrase, or not. In this case, not is fine. And done. Okay.
So at this point, you have all the configuration you need, aside from the router one, which we mentioned before, ready. It's that. Okay.
Okay.
Maybe it's
Oh,
upside
it's,
down.
yeah.
Try your best. It's probably finished in the config file. If you try searching for it, it will take a while.
Okay.
But yeah, at this point, Michael, right, we have everything we need aside from the configuration on the router, which, as we mentioned before, the university will never allow us to fiddle with that. And after that, since we can't show you the connection directly from the mobile to this PC, we'll show you the connection from this mobile to another PC we modeled with the router. Okay, let me do that.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna put my PM.
Yeah, just give me the code. We'll be using AnyDesk in this case just to show you Michael's mobile, since can't really show you the mobile from this distance.
Okay. 744 342 487.
Well, I-
Okay.
since it's your mobile, I wouldn't want to destroy anything there.
Okay. I must wait. Okay, I trust this code. Accept. Start. Okay, perfect.
And did it disconnect? No,
No,
okay.
it's connected. Okay.
So,
So-
as you can see here, just by the configuration on this on the OpenVPN, we can reach the server configured directly from any kind of device, even mobile phones, if you so please.
Okay. See, it's connected. This is my real connection. See, Michael, okay. I can't read from this distance. I don't know if you can do. Okay, but this is my Michael DNS system. Okay, and with this, in this moment, as you can see, I connected this mobile phone to my internal network, okay, with the encryption and with VPN. And now I can do this. I installed the OpenVPN, this one, OpenVPN app, okay, this is free, and you can install on your mobile phone, and after that you have to copy-paste the file that we have created after that script, okay? And after this, okay, I use this JUICE SSH. SSH is
Secure shell.
secure shell, so you can connect directly to your device. Okay, I choose this one, and
It's a bit slow.
okay. Oh.
I can't think we can read anything there.
No.
But
Okay, but
it's anyway, it's the
this is my machine.
terminal.
Okay, this is my PC. This PC is in Taranto. Okay, where I live. Okay, and this is the alarm.
Wake up, Michael.
Okay, no, we don't have so much time. Okay, I set the alarm for this workshop, and as you can see, I can type this one for example. Okay, see, there's something. This is my machine directly. So now I'm connected to my internal network, my home network. And for example, why I have to use this situation instead other kind of situations or apps? Because you have to think that, okay, I have IP cam, okay? I have a camera on inside my home, at home, and I don't want to expose the port, or I don't want to use the app for that camera, because that means I must create an account to an external site, Xiaomi. I like Xiaomi, for example. And I must link that camera to that system, another system that is not mine. Okay, I don't want to do this, so I attach the IP cam, and after that, and after that, with VPN, I can reach directly that IP cam, because you have to think that now I have an IP as I'm sit at my personal desk. Okay, so I can reach my IP, my camera, directly with this one, with this mobile.
Yeah, we are presenting with a mobile to show you potential, but as I said at the beginning, you can reach it from any kind of devices, which enables SSH connection.
Let me show you if I can this one. Okay. See, for example, this is my GUI, the same PC. Thanks for your patience and attention.
Lastly, I would also like to say that everything we showed you today is open source. The script, the software, the configuration, everything is something that you can find for free and use for free. Even the script we showed you before, just by searching OpenVPN install, you will find that ready for you to use. The only thing that will be hard might be fiddling with the router.
Yes.
So that's everything. Thank you everyone for coming, and it was a pleasure.